Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Thank you for joining me for this video. And in this video, the former Wizards coach Scott Brooks is finalizing a deal to become Portland's assistant, the top assistant under Chancey Billups' new Portland head coach. And so this is a significant addition for Chancey Billups, as they mentioned, as he builds out his staff. Obviously, as Dame said, they're going to have that discussion internally in terms of how Dame's future is with the team, whether or not he wants to be there. One can only speculate. But yeah, they're going to have an important conversation. But obviously, the hiring of Chancey Billups and Scott Brooks, is certainly going to play a role into his decision. Does he believe enough in those guys? Obviously, I've seen just a little glimpses of on social media when it comes to the backlash that Damian Lillard has had because of his input in Chancey Billups getting hired. So that situation right there, not going to touch too much on that, but that's certainly going to play, I feel, a role in his decision as determining, whether or not it's time to leave Portland. Because Dame, he wants to be loyal to the fans, but if the fans turn their back on Dame, then Dame, he certainly is going to be someone that doesn't necessarily, I guess you can say, how can I put it? Well, he'll be open, I think, a lot more open to leaving this time around than he's probably been in years past. Because my man, he's got mad skills, and wherever he ends up at, if it's not Portland, that team will be a contender, no doubt. And so we'll see if this is enough to retain him, for the Portland Trailblazers, or will Damian Lillard still end up going elsewhere, or I'm requesting a trade, I should say, elsewhere. But that's an interesting situation to keep tabs on. Just how happy is he currently with the direction that Portland is going? Because obviously he's got to be frustrated with a lot of those early exits. But hey, part of the thing that you can tell Dame is that we're making changes here. We've got a new head coach here and Chancey Billups. We've got a new assistant that has head coaching experience. And just to touch on Scott Brooks and some of the experience that he has, he was been coach in this league, in terms of a head coach going back to the 2008-2009 season when he was brought on with Oklahoma City in terms of being their full-time, head coach. And he was with Oklahoma City all the way up until the 2014-2015 season. And then since 2016-2017, he's been the head coach of the Washington Wizards from that time up through this past season, 2021, in which he led them to a 34-38 record. So I will say, of the last couple of seasons, he hasn't necessarily had a winning record as the head coach. That's why he's the assistant now. But he has had some good seasons. His best season as head coach goes back to the 2012-2013 season, in which, he's with Oklahoma City and they went 60-22 that year, including going 11 and including going 5-6, in the playoffs that year. The year prior to that, going 47-19, he actually went 13-7 in the playoffs and ended up with a Western Conference championship before they lost to a Miami Heat team that had, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, all of those guys in the championship. So he certainly, has a ton of coaching experience, even as an assistant. Goes back to his days in Sacramento, Denver. Denver was his first assistant opportunity back in 2003, 2004. So we're talking about, you think about the prime Carmelo Anthony type of years. He was there during, the early years of that. And then Sacramento, Seattle, before they was Oklahoma City as an assistant. And then, hey, you get your opportunity to be the head coach and you take advantage of it. So, good opportunity. So he's definitely bringing a ton of experience, which will help a first-time head coach such as Chancey Billups, which obviously we know the experience that he brings in terms of just being, in the NBA and being a very effective player. But to have an assistant that you can rely on that comes with that experience to help you as you continue to build out your staff, that's significant right there. So certainly I'm excited to see the direction that Portland's going to take. But obviously priority number one is going to be keep Dame happy. And then from there, get pieces around Dame if you are able to keep him. So that way this team can make it beyond just, the second round or something like that. This team can have the potential to go all the way and be a championship team. Whatever's missing, they've got to figure that out, and they've got to convince Dame that they can do that. And so we'll see how things play out. But this is definitely an important hire here. and let's keep our eyes and see how the Portland Trailblazers are going to do. But of course, this off season, I'll be sure to report things as they happen, especially, when it comes to news like for the Portland Trailblazers. So if you haven't already, take this opportunity now to press that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. And therefore, when there's basketball news, particularly, NBA, college hoops, or football news with the NFL, college football, you'll be in the loop because I'll be sure to post that. And so you'll definitely be able to find that content here. But thanks again for watching this video, and see you guys next time.